Hi, I'm Mariah Violet, and I'm a writer with Jessica Watkins Presents. And welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first of what I hope to be many reviews of interracial erotica as well as urban fiction novels. Many of them will be printed under the imprint of Jessica Watkins Presents, but not all of them, because I'm going to feature as many writers as I possibly can in as wide a range of genres. So there may even on occasion be some science fiction snuck in, because I read widely. And yes, every single time Stephen King drops a novel, I will be reviewing it. But let's get started without further ado. Today's review is My Addiction Second Chance Series by S.K. Leslie. First of all, I was reading S.K. Leslie before I became a writer on the Jessica Watkins Presents publishing house, and I liked her from the very first. She writes very interesting characters. She obviously writes alpha males because that is her talent, and as many writers will, she may change or grow in the future and introduce beta males, or she may start another series. We don't know. Time is young. We'll see what she has in her future. But right now, she's writing about alpha males. And in My Addiction, the lead characters are Ayanna and Brad. They've been best friends for years, since their school days, and she has a brother named Terrence who has unfortunately tended to get into trouble as he grew into adulthood, and he has an older brother named Lockhart who is a police officer. The story is set in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, specifically the Plano suburb. Brad is a medical doctor, and he has recently come home to visit his brother. He is ending a relationship with his fiancee Nora. They were in California, and the relationship wasn't working out, and rather than get stuck in a marriage that would not be successful, he took the strong person step of leaving. Now, this is not a big deal. People end relationships every day. However, he and Ayanna also had a relationship that nearly destroyed him when she succumbed to drug addiction some years before. And he never really got over that, and he knew she was like his kryptonite. Well, here he is back home, staying with his brother, who is himself grieving. His brother's name is Lockhart, the police detective, and he's grieving the death of his wife, MJ. He's turned into a very slovenly, angry, aggressive person. And we're going to get his story, hopefully, in the next book. However, in this story, Brad gets back in touch with Ayanna, his first love, and he intends to resist her. However, of course, as happens with first loves many times, they get back in the same area, they start talking, reminiscing, and it looks like there may be a new relationship blooming. His brother Locke is very opposed to it, and he actively works against their budding relationship. And she even has her own doubts because, when you're coming out of an addiction, you're working through your own stuff. And she doesn't want to be hurt, and she doesn't want to hurt Brad again. Now, Brad and Ayanna give it a chance. And I'm going to say this is not a spoiler for the book. It's a romance novel. Of course, they're going to give it a chance. What you have to know is there are going to be a lot of twists and turns. We've got some bad guys in here. We've got some potential kidnappings. We've got a sex trafficking side story. We've got a SWAT team situation coming on. I mean, it's just a lot happening. And I think that's great because while I love an uncomplicated love story where people meet and fall in love and everything is happily ever after without any hiccups, because we do know some people who have those type of beautiful relationships where there's just never really any trouble. They meet, they fall in love, they get married, they have children, they stay together till they die. The end. But others of us struggle on the path to love, and we have various things that get in our way and hinder us and keep us from having the love of our dreams, and we have to push through and press our way to the love that we want. So that does happen, and I like that this story shows that sometimes your past can be a stumbling block, and I like that it shows that if you forgive and if you try to be your best person today, then you can move past the difficulties that you faced, and you can be the strong person you want to be. So I do encourage you to check out the story My Addiction in the Second Chance series. It is available on Amazon.com, and the author's name is S.K. Leslie. I encourage you to check it out. It was a good read. I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars because, for one thing, it was a really interesting story. For another, it wasn't too short. Some of the stories that you get on Amazon, the electronic books, they're really, really short. But this was a good read. It's a good pool read, a good book to have on your Kindle if you're flying. It's a good read. It's engrossing. And you're going to like the characters. I really did like the characters. And let me tell you something. That Ayanna, she's a tough girl. She's very tough. And I think you'll enjoy getting to know Ayanna and Brad. And she tells us enough about Locke to develop an interest in him, so that we'll be interested in picking up the next book in the series. And let me be very clear, this book does not have a cliffhanger. This is a full and complete novel on its own. So if you read this story, you will get the entire story of Brad and Ayanna. All right, this has been Mariah Violet with Mariah Violet Reads, and I just want to tell you that a book a day keeps boredom away. Try to read 1 book a day, every day.